This morning, on October 26th, Rear Admiral Hagari, the spokesperson for Israeli Defense Forces, whom many call Israeli Occupation Forces, IOF, stood in front of a video camera, looking inanimate as he can, spoke in a very flat tone that the Israeli Occupation Forces have carried out their strikes in Iran. They have attacked Iran. They have struck military targets in Iran that were used in the missile strikes against Israel at the beginning of October. And while doing that, he showed no emotions. He had a very flat tone. He spoke inanimately in his quintessential style. Now, after Hagari, after the news broke that there were explosions heard in Tehran, there were explosions heard in several other parts of Iran, the Western media started jeering, oh, someone has taken over, they have taken action against this evil force. And those in the global south, they started yelling, oh, Israel has attacked another country. See how it operates with sheer impunity. Now, between this, there were television anchors yelling their lungs out, either in support or in opposition to the attacks. Then there were countries like India where for no matter whatever happens, whatever Israel do, people are just celebrate that. And then there are people in global south who oppose that. So there were words of rhetoric. Countries like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Oman, Qatar, they all condemned these attacks and they said, oh, do not do this, do not escalate. China, Russia, etc. Everyone condemned Israel. The Americans again said, okay, you have attacked Iran. Now that's it. Don't do anything more. Go back home, sit quietly. And Iran, you dare not to retaliate because Israel has a right to defend itself. You don't. Iran said, okay, you have done that mistake which you should not have done. You have attacked us. Now you suffer the consequences. We will come back to you. Now we see this rhetoric when we hear them. I mean, if we objectively see things, what my point here is what I want to discuss today in this video is not what has happened, what others have shown you. Rather, I want to raise some questions, some very uncomfortable questions. And there I want to show you a template that has been followed by these warring parties, by Israel and by Iran, and that template is keeping a logjam, stabilizing a logjam in West Asia, and it is maintaining a status quo during which thousands of children, thousands of civilians are getting killed in Gaza, in Lebanon. Now, what is that template? Let's rewind back. In April, in the mid of April, Iran launched a series of missile strikes against Israel. And most of those missiles were brought down by the Iron Dome system. Israel claimed that it managed to thwart Iran's attack, and Iran said it successfully hit all those military targets inside Israel that were used to attack the Syria-based Iranian embassy in Damascus, where the attack by Israel in the month of Ramzan, the holy month of Ramzan, killed several top Iranian diplomats and military leaders. Israel threatened Iran. Israel conducted strikes in Iran, killing top Hamas leader who was a visitor at in the capital during the opening of the presidency of Masoud Pezeshkian, the current president Before that, the mysterious death of former President Ibrahim Raisi raised questions. However, the Iranians did not accept or acknowledge any foul play. They have been since investigating that case, and there are no outcomes. So you see, after that there were the Hezbollah incident, and then you see Israel started attacking Lebanon. It wiped clean of the entire Hezbollah leadership, and then it killed even Hamas leaders like Sinawar a couple of weeks back. And now it is attacking Iran, and Iran is again saying that okay, nothing has happened. We have shot down all those projectiles that Israel had fired at us. And before this, at the beginning of October, when Iran attacked Israel to retaliate against its violation of sovereignty, when Israel targeted the Hamas leader back in during Dr. Pezeshkian's opening, Iran said, okay, we are attacking you because you violated our sovereignty. Now do not retaliate. We end it here. And Iran's strikes were targeted, according to Tehran, on all those military facilities, air bases used by the Israelis to attack Iran and launch assaults. Now, Israel denied that any major damage has been done to its facilities. He claimed that everything is all right. The only people who were killed was like 1 or 2 Palestinians who were killed in Iran's strikes. And Iran is now saying the same thing, that nothing has happened to my bases. Our air defense system has managed to destroy all the incoming projectiles. Now, in doing this, they are actually giving a message very clear that okay, you have attacked, I have attacked, now let's stop. Do not escalate this. Let us keep the conflict confined in Gaza, within Lebanon, within these parts of the world. Now, we know that the US and the collective West have been funding Israel, have been providing it with the destructive weapons to carry out the genocide. But at the same time, we are ignoring the fact that Russia, China led this multipolar bloc, the global south that they claim they represent. The recently concluded BRICS summit, which unequivocally condemned Israel's actions in West Asia. It called for an immediate ceasefire. They all are also somehow not bothered about an immediate end to the West Asia conflict. What are they doing? They are trying to also secure their geopolitical interest, their long-term strategic interests in the region. And that is why China and Russia both share good relations with Israel, and they don't want to jeopardize their business interests in the country. So they are saying, okay, let us bring some elements of peace into the equation and end the conflict, maintain a status quo. And that is why China ensured that all the top leaders of the resistance organizations of Palestine meet in Beijing, which happened a couple of months ago. They met in Beijing, they discussed a lot of things, and they have come up with some solutions to end the conflict. One among them allegedly is demilitarization of Palestine. If demilitarization happens, which China is forcing, which means that neither party should carry weapons or have military, if that, or keep the area militarized, if that happens, it will not end occupation, but at least it will end the little bit military prowess that the resistance forces have right now. But the resistance forces have accepted. Even Sinawar, who was not much in favor of this, accepted this political solution, because they also wanted this conflict to end and the status quo to come. Now there's no harm in a ceasefire. Everyone needs a ceasefire. Everyone needs this conflict to stop. Everyone needs Israel to go back to its territories and stop aggressing southern Lebanon, stop aggressing Gaza. But the point is, Israel has also committed a genocide for the last over a year now, and the world has silently watched it. Forget the Arab world, the Arab sheikhs, the monarchies in the Persian Gulf region. They have all been complicit with the Zionists. But think of countries like Iran, which runs this axis of resistance against Israel. When it comes to itself, it is behaving in a different way than how it goes ahead and motivates its proxy organizations like Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, or Hamas in Palestine. Now, when it comes to Palestine, when it comes to Lebanon, when it comes to Yemen, the rhetoric is different. But when it comes to between Iran and Israel, neither country wants to escalate beyond a limit, and they are following a same template whereby one attacks another, and they ensure that they attack places where they do not end up killing a lot of soldiers, or destroy a lot of equipment, but they claim a moral victory, and the other party rejects that, negates that claim. They say nothing happened, we are rocking, we are very normal. But in this equation, what happens is that we, the world, who are mesmerized by these optics, either from either side, someone who supports the genocide is mesmerized when Israel attacks Iran, and some people who oppose the genocide are mesmerized when Iran attacks Israel. And at the end, what happens is that we do not think of the question of justice. Supposedly, if we accept what the BRICS summit has just proposed, an end to hostilities, a ceasefire right now, who will take accountability for the death of over 42,000 civilians in Gaza, the thousands that have been killed in Lebanon so far? Who is going to take responsibility? Now, you can't say in the 21st century that someone comes and bombs and destroys the country and then they go scot-free because we have an agreement that no one will be prosecuted, no one will be held accountable for the crimes against humanity. So one force comes and commits a genocide and they are free to go. That's what is going to happen if we see the proposals of both camps, be it the US-led collective West or bodies like the BRICS. Everywhere the equation has been to safeguard the interest of Israel, safeguard the interests of investments, safeguard the interests of infrastructure and long-term economic benefits rather than human lives. Now, human lives has no place in modern day geopolitics, which is driven by sheer selfish goals. No one is bothered about ideology in today's geopolitics. And if you are observing Iran-Israel big power game in West Asia, you have to understand that this enmity is also rooted in securing certain interests in the region, in securing influence in the region, in securing hegemony in this region. In this battle for hegemony, in this battle of securing interest, in this battle of securing investments, the victims of genocide remain unheard. Their story remains a story no one cares about. The Americans, the Western forces, have already given their weapons and money to Israel to show their sheer lack of concern for human lives. But at the same time, countries like China and Russia, who strongly oppose the genocide, have also ensured that nothing is done at the ground level to stop the genocide. because they have non-interfering policies in their their foreign policies are non-interventionist, unlike the Americans. But more than non-interventionist, their foreign policies are very selfish, just like Americans' foreign policy. And at the end of the day, the common people, the civilian victims, are at the receiving end of this entire violent show. So the question today that I want to raise here is, how long will Iran and Israel play this you slap me, I slap you game? Because this has no end. Everyone fires missiles, no one gets hit, no one suffers any kind of setback, any kind of damages, and both sides claim a moral victory. It's a win-win situation for both. In that case, it seems like it's an optics created to fool the people in the guise of resistance. But when it comes to real resistance, when it comes to real battle against aggression, battle to preserve one's sovereignty, there are people who are dying, there are people who are suffering, and there are no voices among the big powers of the global south who claim that they represent the global south, among the powers that say that multipolarity is tomorrow. They have nothing to say. And that indicates that the multipolarity that they claim to represent will not end wars and conflicts, that will not bring peace and stability, unless that peace and stability is very much required for the business interests of big powers. So for now, we can sacrifice the people of Palestine, the people of Lebanon, the people of other countries who are fighting Zionists to the altar of selfish greed, selfish geopolitical interests. But at the same time, there will be moral high grounds that will be preached by certain countries, while other countries will only preach violence and provide weapons of mass destruction to Nazi powers. In this scenario, it's very important for everyone to find a path that can provide justice to the victims, ensure peace and stability, of course, ensure an end to the conflict, of course, ensure a preservation of human lives, of course, but also justice to the victims, bringing those culprits who committed the genocide to the court of law, and ensuring they get punished by international bodies for the acts they have committed against humanity. If you think that this view resonates with yours, then definitely go to eastpost.in, our website, and try to read our latest articles there on this topic, where we dissect how international geopolitical war game, the battleground, is actually nothing more than big powers seeking their selfish interest amid blood, fire, and destroyed future. Thank you very much.